Okay, so this is a video I've been wanting to make for quite a while. It's how to make paper tears. Let's begin. Here, in this example, I guess, I'll be using Shady from Costume Quest 2, since I'm currently working on the game-tiered episode of Costume Quest 2 as I'm recording this. So, let's begin. Here, I have two sound effects, a paper rip asset that I just made myself, and a perfect landing.mp3, which I downloaded off of the internet from somewhere. Anyway, I'll just let this play to give a feel for something. Anyway, I ran into Shady. That's really loud. I'm probably gonna edit the sound of that in post. Anyway, so the first step that I like to do is I get right in the middle of this middle rip sound effect, and I cut my clip there, and then one frame over, I make another cut. I take this and drag it to where I start talking again after I say Shady, or I guess whatever it is that I'm talking about in any other clip. And I drag this out, click on it, and I make sure that my playhead is at the very beginning of this frame. Then I open up speed changes, and this button lets me freeze this entire clip. So now it looks like this. Along the way, I ran into Shady. He sells us creepy treat. Yeah. So then I go into full screen here and take a screenshot. There we go. So the first thing I make sure that I do, sometimes I forget about this and it makes me very angry when I forget to do this, but I immediately click to make a new layer, new paint layer. Then I go and select color that I want, which in this case is FF00BF. Yeah. Hot pink, as a human would call it. So we're just gonna create some lines here. I'm thinking of a more vertical paper tear, considering the overall. Sometimes this happens, I don't know why. Critis sucks. Yeah, you just draw these lines out. It's about it for now. I'll probably do a bit of a time lapse. Okay, so now that we have that done, I'm gonna decrease our brush size, and we're gonna just trace an outline of Shady. Oh yeah, for the dimmed glasses, what I will sometimes do, I'll do it here, but I will lower the opacity here. Oh, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Paint can tool up here. I will lower the opacity by like 35. There we go. That. Make sure you get that. So now his glasses are. People who've watched this video before, the Costume Quest video, are all gonna talk about Shady's arm. Anyway, I kind of skipped over it while talking about Shady's arm, but I actually, you know what, I'll do that again. Cut layer. So I was painting on this layer, I went to my background layer and created a new layer, and I have the paint can tool set to black, and we're just gonna click like there, right there. Wow, that really didn't change his hat at all. Did I even have like, yeah, no. That's, oh. Okay, well, I'm glad I caught that when I did. Whoops. Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay. Anyway, we have this. We're gonna hit, well, For me in Krita, I have it bound to Control E, but I'm just going to merge those two layers together. We're going to hide the background layer. I'm going to switch back to the paint can tool. Eraser mode. There we go. We're also going to make sure that we get these erased. This, you're just going to go around the outline of the paper tear and make sure all of the little splotches of black that you might have missed, or whatever color. You don't have to go with pink and black. This is just my color scheme that I really like. Any color scheme you wanted. This wasn't that important. It was literally just to show that like you could do this in any other color scheme. But yeah, I really like pink and black, so that's what we're gonna stick with. Cut layer. So now that this is done, I'm going to save it. So now that we're back in DaVinci Resolve, I have my file system on my second monitor just because it is less editing for me in post to deal with, because I don't want to have to censor any more than I'm going to have to. So yeah, you may have noticed 13, I'm just selecting everything in my paper tear folder and dragging it over. Anyway, so the first thing that I like to do is go to clip color and hit orange. It's just a personal preference. You do what feels comfortable with your editing, your editing software. So we're going to line this up here, and we are going to go to the Fusion tab. And I feel like the vast majority of people just clicked off. Don't fear it. I'll hold your hand. So we're here in the Fusion tab. Right here, it's right under this button. It's not telling me what it is. We have this tool called the polygon. It's right next to the B-spline. The B-spline. Anyway, we're gonna actually no, we don't have to drag it in. We're just gonna click on it. You're gonna see that this disappears. It's still there. It's just hiding. Click 4 areas and make sure the final thing you click. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, sorry, and the 5th click connects any 2 of your anchors together. Just gonna get a feel. I usually do this just to see what I'm working with, you know, decrease that fog of war, as it were. We're just gonna shimmy this into position. Now, I do this to make sure I do this to make sure that my setup is correct for the future, so that looks almost perfect. We're gonna go back here, and okay, could be moved over a little bit. What I'm looking for is right here. I'm gonna zoom in on this in post, but right here, you see how there's that little edge, that spike? I'm gonna do my best to minimize that, because it's meant to look like you're kind of shredding it, you're tearing it. And clean tears at that. And that is basically perfect. Okay, so now that I have finalized that, we will go and we're gonna move over to here, 1 frame right before this. We're gonna move it right here. We're gonna take our polygon again, move this to where we had it. That looks about good, and we're gonna move this over as well, just to ensure that nothing's being cut off where it shouldn't be. Take one last look before I move on. That looks pretty good. We're gonna move 1 frame over. Oh yeah, sometimes I've been doing this long enough where I'll sometimes automatically do things without consciously thinking about it. On these lines, you can add other nodes and move them around as you see fit. Just gonna Control Z all of that. And before I move to the playhead, you can do this after moving the playhead. I created 2 more nodes on the line that the next paper tear is closest, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna move this, we're gonna jolt those out, and we're gonna test to see if I went too far, which I did, or not far enough, which, you know, it's all adjustable. That looks about good. Yeah, that looks perfect. Okay. Create some more nodes. Move over a frame. Move them again. I don't do the testing thing nearly as much with the last one, since there's nothing you really need to line it up. As long as the entire image is uncovered by the final frame, you're basically good. So that's how. So let's see what it looks like. Along the way, I ran into Shady. He sells us creepy treat cards to finalize the image itself. Almost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Scroll up so we can see this little thing here. We're gonna drag it out till it says 5 frames. There we go. You can do this by editing the opacity keyframe, or by keyframing the opacity. But this is a lot easier. So that's what I do. Anyway, we're gonna go up here into effects, and you might start off in toolbox, but you're just gonna go down into titles. Then from titles, take the text image. You can also use text plus for a few different things. You might see an example of text plus if you know what you're looking for. What is this guy's name? Shady. And there's Shady. And then in your font family, I have this download. This font is free to use. I can't remember where I downloaded it from. I think it was from like Microsoft. It's a Microsoft font, which are all free to use. It's called Press Start Player 2. Okay, so to make the slap down effect that I do, we're gonna take the playhead, put it right here, right there, Jesus, and then we're gonna zoom and rotate. Do I want on the left or right? It seems small. You're right, it kind of is, but it looks okay. Anyway, we're gonna hit these nodes, which anchor this object to this position and zoom on this frame. We're gonna drag the playhead back, and we're gonna increase the zoom. So, this is how you animate. This is called animation, and we're gonna actually make it so there we go. You're just gonna make it so it's not in the way. Because let me show you what it looks like here. If you don't Along the way, I ran into Shady. He looks kind of odd. Now, if you don't have much of a choice, maybe a game's logo or something, but what I'll do is I'll just create a 3-frame process. To Shady. He sells. It's not perfect, but it makes it less jarring. Anyway, since I don't need to do that, we're just gonna get it right in the middle, and we're gonna see how this looks. Okay, let's check this out. Along the way, I ran into Shady. He sells us creepy treat cards as well as costume upgrades. Yeah. Anyway, that is how you make paper tears. Get excited for the next episode, everyone.